Hi everyone, Anisa here, and I'm coming in today with April Ascension Opportunities. I'm calling this one Opportunities because I feel like the energies I'm going to be speaking about are spaces that we have opportunities to refine our growth and come deeper into self-knowing, self-love, and the conscious awareness of self-realization, which I feel is ascension. So these are April Ascension opportunities, and I'm in a space with a lot of noise. If you hear some maracha band or some construction, it's just what it is, so you know. So okay, I'm just gonna dive right in. So the first one I want to speak about is refinement. So I feel like we have the opportunity this month, and I actually mentioned this in the last month's video, but to really, I use the word honing in March, and this time I'm going to use like this honing to refine. So as if we have a structure of clay and we've like honed in on the shape we want, and now we're going to like chisel and refine and allow this precision and particularities to be a part of our experience. And I feel that is connected to knowing in such detail what we want, and knowing that what we want is a deep reflection of who we are. And just I feel like there's such a deep relaxation and capacity to see the final sculpture in such like Grecian precision. And I don't feel that final structure will be seen in April, or maybe we'll see a hand or an arm or a part of it. But I feel we can really develop the skills of refinement and of actualizing into matter, into materialization, that which we want, from a deep, deep sense of being who we are. And to, this word of refinement and honing and this deep like trust of self comes through. And so I feel like that's the first ascension opportunity that I want to share about for April, because I feel like this is how we really, this is one way we really in heart and embody being the creators of our reality. And as I continue, I'll talk about how we are also the creation of our reality. And I'm smiling because I'm saying that term so much, but it's just so present. It's so present. Okay, so the second one I want to speak about is about abundance. And I've been feeling this term of April abundance codes, and I feel that we have such a beautiful opportunity to come into this deep abundance in whatever area of our life that we want there to be abundance, if that's monetary or relationship wise, or in our gardens or in our homes, and how that abundance code is so connected to self-worth. And I've been really feeling this in March, and I feel like this will continue into April, that underneath any type of scarcity or lack that we perceive in our reality, it's really around how do we perceive the worth, our own self-worth, as it's connected to it. And it may not be so direct, as in, if you'll take a relational example, it's not only that I'm worthy of friendships or romantic relationships, and like saying that over and over, it might be like even deeper than that, that like my being is worthy of being in communion with another, and that I feel deep worth of myself, and that my worth transcends someone's rejection or acceptance, because it is like eternal and ephemeral. And for anyone to recognize that worth is a deep, deep gift of my existence to theirs. And if someone doesn't recognize that, the gift of my being is not in any way delineated or lessened. It continues, it continues, it continues. And we can also use that example of money. It's not only that I'm worth being a multimillionaire or billionaire or whatever like monetary stature you have for yourself, but it's also like around that, what's a deeper connection that like I'm worthy of being on this earth, that I feel like secure and safe, and that my being adds, like the very nature of who I am adds to the ecosystem of our environment. And that is a wealth that is beyond conception. And that is how I connect with financial wealth. These are just examples that may be present for you or may not, but I really want to invite us as we think of abundance and having so much, like having this idea of like so much, like too much, and like how we're really worthy of that, and how for all of us that might mean something different. And what it means for me is not what it means for you, and it's not meant to be what it means for you, but to really hone in like that I can have my individuated like creation of abundance, and through that I'm creating the space for everyone around me to have their individuated relationships of abundance, and to really feel how that is possible, and to like know it as true. And so I really feel this month we have, as I'm calling April Abundance Codes, we have this possibility to deepen our self-worth to like the core wound around our worth as it relates to that which we would like to feel abundantly multiplied in our physical reality this month. So I feel like that's an opportunity that we have. So something else I want to share, the third I want to share, and it's like it's hyphenated. So the first thing I want to talk about this is choice. So I feel the universe loves us all so much. It will have many things come into life that allows us to choose like who we have been operating as, from a sense of scarcity, lack, not really owning our worth, and having choices that really are expressions of choosing ourselves and choosing our worth and trust, like deep trust. And I feel we're going to be presented with these options a lot in life. And especially right now, as we're honing in on our craft, the craft of being conscious and like being aware and being awake and being love inside of our bodies, we're going to have these opportunities to continually choose our own awareness and our awakeness. And we're also in that there's the opportunity to maybe choose patterns that are more comfortable for us. And it takes such resiliency, because every pattern of our body will want to choose something that we have already chosen, because even though it may not lead us to what we want, it leads us to being alive still. It's survival. Like we know we've done that, we're still here, we're still breathing. And so like in so many ways, that aspect of ourself that's extremely like primal, and I hesitate to use that word because I think being primal is like a gorgeous expression of ourselves, but there's also the aspects of ourselves that it might be like a survivalistic primality versus like the wild primality that's like life is raw, wild, crazy, and exuberant, you know? Will sort of keep us tied to certain patterns of safety. And what we do when we choose like ourselves, and when we choose like, no, I'm not going to connect with that person because I know connecting with that person is an old pattern. I'm going to actually choose to like be alone for X amount of time to vibrate into a connection that I know is so truly what I want. We prove to our whole energies and nervous systems that, oh, when we make different choices, when we make choices of love, that we actually can survive and like live and thrive. And we're like proving to ourselves that this way of being is extremely safe and possible. But because there might be parts of our molecular system, our nervous system, that doesn't believe that, we'll be continually given opportunities to choose. And I feel like that's a beautiful opportunity we're going to have this month in April, and I've already been feeling it in March. I feel like we'll continue into April. And so this is hyphenated, and maybe this is just another Ascension opportunity, or it's just hyphenated in that I really want to talk about non-doing and inaction as it relates to being and bringing to life everything that which we are and that which we desire. So I wrote this down actually, so now I'm like kind of trying to remember what I wrote down and being in what's just present. So the construction started again, sorry about this. When we do from the sake of doing, there might be like a pressure, like this pressure to perform, this pressure to produce, this pressure to have a certain result. But when we allow the relaxation of non-doing, of inaction, it doesn't mean that we stop. It actually means that we allow ourselves to come into movement from a deeper sense of trust and beingness and inspiration. So it's this sort of, and I feel like as we speak about materialization and coming into our self-worth and abundance, a pause, a stopping, a deep relaxation within our mind and our being is such a vital part of manifestation and actualization. And it really is trusting, it's in that moment is when we trust the particles and waves and energy of the multiverse and of God, source creator, to come through us. We trust the molecular energy of life to live through us within that pause, within that inaction. And I feel like as we sink so deeply into the non-doing, an inspiration of action comes. And then when that action is there, it isn't draining, it isn't pressured, it isn't result-based. It's actually because we deeply want to do it and we enjoy it. And an action done from joy is like the breath of life, the life itself. And I want to connect this now to spring and how we have things blooming and springing in the northern hemispheres, and how there's a deep, like the deep state of rest of the seed is a part of how it has its own capacity to sprout and to bloom. And so we are in a period of spring and blooming and blossoming is possible. And a part of that kinetic, frenetic energy, this is what I wrote down, within exponential growth is rest. Because this is the assumption that I will always grow continually to that which is myself. And in that assumption, in that knowing, there is no need to do. It is already done. It's already in doing. It's actually never done. It's like already always in the ing. It's always there. It's like always in that form. And so I feel like when we allow our own ego I identity, like that aspect of the self, to relax into that concept of exponential growth and like exaltation, we actually allow the formulation of actualization and creation in a way that's really remarkable, for there to be such a small distance between that which we say and that which we see. That which we like see inside and internally, and that which we see manifested materially. Sorry if the construction is really loud. I'm curious how it will play into the sounding here. Well, these are the Ascension opportunities I want to share for April. I'm curious how this resonates with you. Please comment below. I really love just hearing and feeling how these words live true to you in the moment I say them or in the moment as they've passed. You know, I was feeling for my video last month, I don't even remember what I said. I remember saying let life live you, and and I feel like I was kind of saying something, and then March was so intense. I found March was so emotionally intense for me and for so many people, and I was like, did I say that in my video? Did I really hone in on the energy accurately enough? But then as I came to the end of March, I haven't listened back to it, but I realized it was that, because I felt like in the midst of such intense and chaotic and profound energy, something that we can do is surrender to letting life live us. And through that, we're actually creating the capacity to be in deep emotionality and honing. I don't remember the other words I used, but I remember oh yeah, I really did capture an energy that I felt in this month of March. So I'm curious how the energies of April, I'm saying, will continue to manifest and realize itself for me and for you. And so share this, comment, do all the things that people say. I speak about this, how sometimes I'm inspired to say these things, sometimes I'm not. I'm just happy to be here sharing with you. I'm currently in a bathroom, so I'm seeing my phone, and I'm seeing beyond my phone bathroom things, and there's something about this moment that feels really real. So thank you for sharing with me inside of this real moment of just life, just life living. So much love to you, blessings to you. Looking forward to hearing from you, and yeah, be gentle with yourself and know that this is all guided in deep, deep grace. Lots of love.